ISIS was actually Al-Qaeda. They were inside Al-Qaeda. It was one organization. After the so-called Arab Spring or the awakening or the Islamic awakening or whatever one might want to call it, the United States began to use Al-Qaeda again in Libya, in Yemen, but most importantly, in Syria. What is the evidence of this? It's very simple. On February the 12th, 2012, Jake Sullivan, who is the current U.S. National Security Advisor, sent an email to Hillary Clinton, who was the Secretary of State at the time, and said, in Syria, Al-Qaeda is on our side. So this was almost at the very beginning of the violence in Syria. And Iran was saying that from the very beginning because Iranian intelligence knew this. This, by the way, email is accessible. It's online. If anyone uses a search engine, they'll find it immediately. Also, and as I said, ISIS was a part of Al-Qaeda. Then they split. So then ISIS and Al-Qaeda became two different organizations. Sometimes they were fighting against each other. Also, there is an important U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency document that was published in 2012. The U.S. Intelligence Agency document said U.S. allies in the region want to create a Salafist entity between Iraq and Syria to break the link between the two countries so that they can bring down Syria. Who was that Salafist entity? It was ISIS. They occupied the area between Iraq and Syria. And then the head of the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency at that time, General Michael Flynn, he did an interview on Al Jazeera. All of these are accessible. All of these are accessible. He did an interview on Al Jazeera with Mehdi Hassan, and he said that the United States took a willful decision to support this. So the United States was supporting both Al-Qaeda and ISIS. So the relationship between the West and ISIS and Al-Qaeda and a host of other extremist groups is very well established. And that relationship exists today. In fact, the United States in Al-Tanf, the area where the 3 American soldiers were recently killed, that area, which is Syrian, the Al-Tanf area, is occupied by the Americans, and they train remnants of ISIS there. And every now and then they go and attack Syrian army troops. And after the war in Gaza, these attacks have increased dramatically. There have been 2 major cases in the last 2-3 months where large numbers of Syrian army soldiers were murdered, conscript soldiers. But does ISIS kill American soldiers? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Why? Because they don't kill those people that feed them. They don't kill the people that train them.